to the wand cast, where people don't drop their wands as they fling them around during the intro music.
Did you cast it aside?
I did for sure cast it aside in a very Neville-like fashion. This is the chapter-by-chapter read of the Harry Potter series with a lunar craft brew on the side.
Ooh.
I am Aaron, and I am here with my two favorite Hufflepuffs, Nate and Jade. Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Yeah.
Like Howl into the Moon. I like it. Well, on this episode, we are kissing our way through chapter 20 of Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, The Dementors Kiss.
What? So romantic.
I don't think it will be.
Yeah,
But
I liked it until you added that last bit.
in this chapter, Harry and Sirius converse as they all head back to Hogwarts. Lupin wolfs out and Peter escapes from his cohorts.
Fuck.
Black makes chase but is quickly caught. Harry tries to help, but it all seems for naught.
Oh, I didn't see the last line. You motherfucker, you did it again. You're kind of like a little pixie who just does little bits of chaos here and there and doesn't really do any harm, and it's fine.
I think you should sing them.
I would if I had someone playing an instrument.
There are 8 guitars right there.
Yeah, I say that like it is something that won't happen.
Yeah, right.
No,
In
that would
this
happen.
basement, buddy, there's a very real chance.
Well, hey, before we fully dive deep into this chapter, just a quick reminder, on the last episode, we found out that Scabbers has been, in fact, Peter Pettigrew the whole time, and he was sentenced to a life of imprisonment in Azkaban by Harry. He stopped Sirius and Lupin from dealing a killing blow, and then the company began making their way out of the Shrieking Shack and back to Hogwarts grounds, and that was where we left them, in the tunnel. The secret tunnel.
Yeah, we're not
The
quite
secret
back to
passage.
Hogwarts yet.
Not yet. We are underground where any sort of light cannot touch us from outside. Because apparently that matters.
It does, apparently.
Yeah, we will get into it. We're not going to get into that quite yet because we have some other things to discuss first. Are you guys ready to dive deep?
Hell yeah, let's do this.
Let's get in there.
The chapter opens and, we kind of get a little preview of what exactly our company looks like. Snape is still unconscious and he is magically floating. We have Peter handcuffed between Lupin and Ron because Ron is fucking ride or die and feels responsible somewhat that Peter Pettigrew used to be his rat.
Hey guys, apparently my pet's a guy and he's been causing all sorts of ruckus. I just know this is going to come back to me, so...
Which we didn't talk about. I mean, this was revealed in the last chapter, but Ride or Die Ron is always going to get a shout out by me. I know I just said that we didn't shout him out when it happened, but...
He's my favorite.
God, Ride or Die Ron is great.
I did just kind of have a thought. In the last book, he fucked with the car and it got his dad in some trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Now this is a thing where, again, his dad's household has been the source of a leak of information and Arthur is probably going to hear about this from somebody.
Oh, his daughter ended up in the fucking Chamber of Secrets last year with fucking Voldemort shit. This year, his son has been housing fucking Peter Pettigrew, who is a fugitive of the law for this whole time.
Dude, Arthur's going to Azkaban. Holy fuck.
Arthur would try to put in his 2 weeks, and the ministry would be like, no.
No matter what, kids will get removed.
Here. We're going to keep an eye on you and your family.
You're not going anywhere,
Yeah.
pal. No more Egypt trips for you.
No. You're grounded.
It's also just wild to me. I mean, aside from the fact that we're like, okay, Lupin and Ron of everybody here are the ones who should be guarding this man. On top of that, we don't take any steps other than just attaching him to some other people.
Yeah.
We don't Petrificus Tortella. We don't fucking vine wrap that bitch. We don't do anything.
You have an unconscious teacher wrapped up and floating through the air. I do not see why that's not an option for this guy too.
Yeah.
Okay, he's out of rat form. Knock his ass out, bind his ass out,
Hey.
and then bring him to the castle.
Harry, Ron, Hermione, you all have your wands. Triply Armus, Peter.
Cross the
again.
streams.
Yeah.
It'll be fine.
If we can turn into a rat
Yeah.
at will.
Tiny ass creature.
Yeah. Handcuffs don't do very much on a guy like that.
Hey,
you know?
Fuck.
I can tell we're getting a little negative. And this chapter does
Is it
actually.
because it's a dumb idea, Aaron?
It is because it's a dumb
God damn
idea.
it.
Because it's a dumb
Look,
idea, Aaron.
I'm not saying it's an unprompted negativeness that's happening, but
And Lupin and Sirius should know this because they've hung out with this motherfucker.
we do get a nice little moment between Sirius and Harry where Sirius offers to let Harry come stay with him once everything has been cleared.
Yeah.
Because that is the immediate plus of not killing Peter Pettigrew. Now, I think there is enough proof in, like, here is the body of an adult 12 year older than anyone remembers him looking, Peter Pettigrew. You know, like, I don't think they necessarily had to take him alive.
No, if it was self-defense and 12 people just said it was self-defense and here's his body.
Yeah. Yeah. 3 students and a professor were threatened by a now alive Peter Pettigrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Sirius Black was here, but hey, the fact that Peter Pettigrew's alive
Yeah.
kind of has proved something's wrong
Yeah.
with what we were told happened that night 12 years ago.
So my opinion in the last episode is just that I am a bad person and wanted to commit a murder
I
and
don't
then
really
hide the
think
body
so.
to solve my problem. Whereas the right thing to do
Yeah.
is no, let's bring him to the authorities and then show how this man didn't die and Black has been with him. He's not a deranged killer. You know, he was present and we all decided to bring this to the authorities.
Or you murder him in self-defense and
Yeah.
take his body.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I'm not saying there's a moral issue with that.
Yeah,
I just think
yeah.
in the way that, look, Sirius Black is here and no one died is a pretty good reintroduction to his character into modern society.
But also, like, this is a magical world. Do we know for a fact there's not a way to, like you in death prove that this is Peter Pettigrew?
Oh, yeah.
And, like, maybe, yeah, look at his wand. Well, I don't even know if, you know, or no, he doesn't have his wand.
I was a little confused about that in the
Yeah.
because it kind of makes it sound like he had another wand behind his back, or it was just his own wand behind his back. I couldn't figure out
Now
which was which.
or then?
When the whole explosion happened.
Then he had his wand behind his back, pointed it backwards, blew the street apart around him, and then transfigured away
Okay.
after cutting off his finger.
Because we were talking about,
Yeah.
you know, checking the spells that happened through your wand.
Yes.
And it had occurred to me if he had a different wand and then got rid of it, then that would have never been on his wand and they wouldn't have been able to trace it.
That's
but
true.
if it was
That's
his
true.
wand, then all of this stands. They can totally check it.
They could check Sirius's wand and also give
Yeah,
me
they
give
could have
me
done that at the
truth
time.
serum, fucking magic lie detector, whatever. You got some shit. Okay, you could.
Well,
check me.
here's the thing. Wake Snape up now. Wake him up.
Yeah.
Hey, look, Peter Pettigrew. He's alive. You don't have to like us, Snape, but can we just do this? And
Yeah.
then after this is done, we will go our separate ways.
Yeah, you don't have to like it, but here's the proof we were
but
right.
look,
So
here's
get off
Peter
it.
Pettigrew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And somebody wake up Dumbledore now.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, seriously.
Where the fuck is Percy when you need him?
There
but,
are. Oh,
no, go ahead.
Yeah, because there's definitely got to be some ways to communicate magically
Yeah.
to the castle.
Yeah, it seems like there'd be a way to maybe send something with a message that can be done very quickly.
Yes.
Now, look, we're kind of getting away from, like, a really happy and fun thing that does happen at the start of this chapter. Sirius offers to Harry, hey, when everything's clear, you can come live with me if you want.
Yeah.
I am your godfather, or as I accidentally started typing out in the notes, Sirius is Harry's dogfather.
Dogfather.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a
It's
little
not
dyslexic.
wrong.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
This has got to be the happiest moment in Harry's life. Just like,
If he had been having trouble making the Patronus after this here
exactly,
moment,
yeah,
that's no longer a problem for Harry.
I wouldn't
now
think
he's
so.
got a ray of hope. He doesn't have to fuck with the I was just about to say Weasleys, but
Yeah.
the Dursleys anymore. And he's got an actual guardian in the magical world who can vouch for him and like, yes, you can go into town with the rest of the school, and he's not a killer, so that's a huge plus. However, I don't know how established this man could be.
Yeah, and
Jade and I were talking about that before.
Yeah, and I don't. First of all, it's wild. It's nice, but it's wild that Sirius hasn't even been able to walk down the street in 12 years. He's been out for a minute, but he's been hiding. And his first thought is like, "Hey, come live with me." He's like, he hasn't even gotten himself. He can't even be like, what? It would be great to go buy something from a store as a person. That would be cool.
If they walked out onto the street right now, he would be arrested immediately.
Yeah.
Just for being who he is. They need to get so much clearer. But, after the fact.
No, and
yes,
I know.
But as of right now,
that's his first thought. I mean, it's nice, right? He's been watching this child from afar all year. So he's like, I would love to live with this child.
He does say in the chapter, once my name is cleared.
Yes.
You can come.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like, hey, once my name is cleared and I've acclimated, so we're talking 12 to 18 months from now, probably ideally.
It's a weird thing to
Not
dangle
3 months
in
from
front
now.
of a child. Now, granted, here's the other thing. He doesn't know how terrible Harry's home life has been.
I think he has an idea because, Sirius probably heard about the Dursleys through James and Lily.
Yeah,
but
he might have, but he doesn't know what Harry's been
not
dealing
that
with.
much.
So,
yeah.
He doesn't know if this is actually something he would jump at or not. But if he were to know, it would be a weird thing to dangle. Like, hey, you want to come? But you gotta wait a minute.
It does kind of say that Sirius is even surprised that Harry so quickly was like, yeah, I'll come live with you.
Yeah.
Harry goes, when can I move in?
He did the same thing where he was just like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
And Sirius, I gotta imagine for at least a minute was like, ow, dude. I was just excited to finally be able to meet you and shit,
He does.
And then Harry's like, of course I want to live with you. Why wouldn't I want that?
They said, Sirius very quickly says, oh, yeah, no, of course. I thought you wouldn't want to. I
Unless
understand.
you don't want to, I get
no,
it.
it's fine. Yeah.
Well, also, we just met.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We don't actually know each other that well. We could both just really not match.
Hey, let's do coffee and hogs meet a few times.
So, the are you crazy thing is just hey, you've been isolated for 12 years. I don't know you. Let's ease into this relationship.
You are my parents' best friend, but I am also a 13-year-old orphan, and I am also not the most socially acclimated. So maybe we both take a little bit of time, then we can talk about moving.
Well, I think it's that and his just utter disdain for the Dursleys would make him go, absolutely, I'll fuck. How much worse could it possibly be?
Yeah, no, I agree with you.
I think one of the most unrealistic things about the book series so far is that every time the summer holiday is getting nearer and he has to leave Hogwarts, he's not just begging to just live with Ron. Hey, can I just live with the Weasleys? Can I just move in with you?
Yeah.
Can I just move in? What's one more kid?
Yeah, you telling me Molly's not going to be like, oh, yeah, abso-fucking-lutely.
Yeah.
Let's make sure that belly is full and you got a warm place to sleep tonight.
We don't get too deep into it because we reach the end of the tunnel and the clouds part.
And then it's wonderful and everything's fine.
And beautiful, gorgeous lunar moonlight.
Oh, it's so
shines down on just Lupin.
Uh-oh.
Just completely centers Lupin out
kind of like a spotlight.
I was going to say like Eeyore with a rain cloud.
And then turns bright fucking red.
Lupin gets hit with some moonlight, and I have questions. We know that Buckbeak's execution was at sundown, and this has got to be at least an hour after sundown. The moon's been out, so he didn't turn into a werewolf until the moonlight hit him.
Yeah.
Can't he just get blackout curtains?
That's a good question.
Yeah, I mean, why not? If it didn't turn him until he was in the moonlight, just don't go in the moonlight.
That's what I'm saying. Or is it with different lores and stuff? Is it first moonlight after midnight?
No, it's not, because as a werewolf, that happens during the full moon.
Mm-hmm.
It's got nothing to do whether it's not vampire rules. It's not light or dark and the moonlight actually touching you. The moon, it happens on a full moon.
Yeah.
You don't have to be outside. That's an effect caused by planetary alignments and shit. And so at a full moon, whether he's outside or in a basement, he's going to change and do the thing.
Now, I realize you are not a werewolf lunar expert. However, I do have a question for you.
Okay.
Why didn't he transform when they were in the Shrieking Shack then?
Or the tunnel.
Or the tunnel?
You're telling me that moon
He went outside,
came out.
shack, tunnel, outside, and then it says he did not transform until he was hit with moonlight.
Well, fuck, I don't know. Maybe it's a combination thing. Maybe it's got to be happening and then you have to touch. But then why every time that he was in the Shrieking Shack and out of the moonlight is he transforming anyways?
Questions.
I think it's more that it's just a very specific time of day that it happens, and you are good until you are not good.
And it was just coincidence.
Yeah, and his potion doesn't stop it. It just makes it easier for him.
He just keeps his mind.
Yeah.
Well, but that's the wild thing is that, first of all, he's been doing this for a minute.
Yeah,
so
his whole life.
I get that tonight made things a little bit crazy, but as a habitual werewolf turner-into, you should be a little bit more like, hey guys, this is important. Tonight it's a kind of a big fucking deal for me though, and it's gonna be dangerous for everybody if I don't get the fuck out of here, or if you don't get the fuck out of here away from me.
If he remembered that he forgot his pill.
Yes.
Or his potion.
Yeah.
Yeah, forget your pill, whatever.
I'm just saying it should be a hat, like his brain, his body, everything should be like screaming at him
that it's about time.
Today is the day. Like, this is a monthly thing that fucking happens.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. For since he was a child, and he's at least in his 30s now.
Yeah.
So we're talking minimum 20 years. He's done this every month, once a month.
And it came up that Snape brought the Wolfbane, like he was going to bring me the Wolfbane potion. I know it's late in the night.
Yeah.
Also, he's been doing this for a long time. When he wasn't taking the potion, the guys helped him keep his mind a little bit. And now he's been taking the potion consistently for all this time. So I get being off your meds fucks with you, okay? It really does. But I feel like there should be some degree of like control in there.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be full wild out.
Jade,
right?
I want to dive into this because I have some strong feelings about what
Do you also have
discussion
thoughts?
we
Also,
are
the
about
bogger
to
turned
have.
into a moon? Like, what? Okay.
Yeah. So let's go ahead. And also, beers always make discussions better.
Oh, yeah.
So we're going to grab a couple of beers, and then we're going to be back right after this. Nate, what are we drinking today?
Today we are drinking raspberry ale from Dark Horse Brewing Company.
Did you say raspberry?
Raspberry.
Raspberry.
God damn it. You know I love raspberry, and you've now turned this thing against me somehow.
Holy shit, I literally have never thought about that side of that.
He bought
that if
the
he doesn't
beer
like
so
this,
he could torture me
we're
with that
ruining
word.
something he loves.
No. What I think it is it's going to be a Pavlovian response. Someday we're going to say raspberry like that, and he's just going to start salivating and going nuts, and he's going to be like, I need raspberry right now.
This beer is a light-bodied, easy-drinking ale. We use real raspberries late in fermentation, giving this beer a mild fruit flavor while keeping a very balanced malt profile. This may not be what some would expect from a, quote, fruit beer, but our brewers make beer not overly sweet, fruity, carbonated malt beverages. Our motto is beer first, fruit second, cheers. Which I believe that I've had this beer before. Normally I love raspberry, and I'm thinking this may be the one that
Did we get a percentage?
didn't love me. Again, can't stress this enough.
Small
love
letters.
Dark Horse Brewery. Very small letters on the can.
5%. I saw it earlier.
Oh, it is 5%. 10 IBU.
I just got to say, I like Dark Horse Brewing. I feel like that statement on the can was very passive aggressive to people who like fruity beers.
Yeah.
And
We don't make those fruity beers like those other beers you might like. Oh,
I
okay.
just don't feel like that was necessary. Like, I feel like you could have just talked about how good the beer is.
Yeah.
And not talked about what it doesn't
Talk,
have.
talk about how good your beer is, not how bad other
Yeah.
beers are.
Yeah.
Talk about how good the ingredients are.
But
Or
here's
not how bad your customers are for wanting a fruity beer, for
Yeah.
expecting a fruity beer.
I mean, here's the thing.
This means you, Jim, who didn't like this beer.
Well, I think it's true. They did not make this like those other fruity beers that are very fruity. No, I don't like it that much.
Yeah.
I am like Jim, and I like me a fruity beer.
See, here's the thing. When you have a blood orange ale, right? It's not going to taste like you just put a blood orange in your mouth. It's
Yeah.
going to taste like you are licking the inside of the rind of the orange, right? And I think that is the flavor that comes through in this. So not unlike typical, quote, fruit beers that don't actually taste like the thing. But then give it a quippy name. Don't be like, this is raspberry flavored ale, because then anybody is going to look at that and go,
yeah.
this is going to be my go-to. It's just going to be sweet and delicious because it's raspberries, and why wouldn't they be? But then it's just not that. I still like this very much because I know what I'm going to get when I order the blood orange. So I kind of expect this, but pure flavor,
I think what it is it seems like they thought they were kind of trying to punch down a little bit at other breweries who do fruity beers. And in my experience, I just want to put it out there that normally breweries that they experiment with the fruit a little bit, but they aren't strong in making a lot of different flavors. This is a lot what their fruity beers taste like.
yeah, that's true.
It is beer with a hint of some fruit. And that's not to say that they aren't good at making beer, but they aren't big enough to be making either big enough or they don't have the resources maybe to be experimenting in those fruitier beers because like Perrin or some of these other bigger breweries, they do the fruity beers that are fruit and they have all their different beers and they're all still strong. And I feel like you're not punching up or like I feel like you're punching up at your competition when you say stuff like that.
I think it's time for ratings. And out of 10 punches, I think I'm giving it a 6. The name of the beer is Raspberry Ale.
Yeah.
So I'm expecting raspberry and then ale, not ale and then raspberry. So it's just a little below. Very likable for me. I drink it. I'm going to drink all this. I'll probably have another one. It's going to be great. If I find a choice, I'd get something different.
Yeah, I think I'm in the same range as you. I would say 7 only because I'm just a real big raspberry guy and I just like that flavor. Red fruit dude, what can I say? But yeah, it's more like a raspberry seltzer water kind of flavor.
Yeah, I get that. I
more
can see
than
that.
actual like raspberry juice.
Yeah.
So with that in mind, I do like the flavor. It's not a bad beer. I would have it again. I would happily purchase this again. But also, it's not that high of a priority for me.
I think it's 5 punches out of 10 for me.
Ooh,
Because
okay.
I think if I was still in the place in my beer drinking experience where I only liked fruity beers,
Yeah.
this would probably be the beer I drank on the menu.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be okay, not my favorite. It's not my favorite.
It's the
Fruity
closest
beer.
to not bad tasting. I mean that with all due respect, too.
But-
Because I will be going back to this place and spending a whole
Right,
bunch of money.
Right. I have other favorite fruity beers. If I went there, I probably wouldn't pick this. I'd pick one of their dark beers at this point in my beer drinking journey,
Yeah.
which tells me it ain't that good.
Good but tame.
As opposed to other raspberry ales I've had.
Alrighty.
5 out of 10.
Hey, still not bad. I'm ready to get back into it.
All right.
And I think we'll do that. Maybe right meow. We are back. I want to talk about Lupin here because he does in fact turn into a werewolf.
Loony Loopy Lupin.
Loony Lupin gets some lunar rays and goes loony full out. I ran out of L words there. Lupin signed up to be a professor. Okay? Lupin signed up to be a professor. He agreed to it. Dumbledore agreed to it. I'm sure with the idea that you, Lupin, are going to do everything you fucking possibly can to make sure you don't ever turn into a werewolf, even on accident. Because you've been doing this every month, once a month, for over 20 years. So we're not going to do something dumb like forget to take a potion.
Now, he's been taking the potion from Snape recently, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Now, this is something he seems to be taking before he turns into a werewolf.
Yeah, they haven't full, because it sounds like he says if I take it during or if I take it before, but like how soon before it doesn't necessarily say.
It kind of seems like because he had been drinking this stuff, yes, he's changing. Yes, it's dangerous.
Yeah.
But it also seems like he should be, like, he didn't take it today. I guess that's the thing. But he had been taking it. It's in there also a little bit. So maybe it won't be quite as bad as it could be. But it still seems like the more recently he takes the potion, the better it is. So he's still going to be dangerous.
If you cannot guarantee that you are not going to wolf out, I don't think you should be a professor for a living. Find a work from home job that you could put blackout curtains up in your house for.
Buddy, this is the 80s.
Okay, put blankets up in front of your windows.
Because here's the thing. To what we know, he showed up looking very shabby, and nobody can really hire him.
Mm-hmm.
And he got lucky that he ended up being here at Hogwarts with a professor who could make Wolfsbane potion.
Mm-hmm.
But my thing is, that implies that this motherfucker has been wolfing out without the use of the Wolfbane potion, or he's found some other way to mitigate that transformation. Because what the fuck has he been doing all this time?
Yeah,
before he started working at Hogwarts. He did something to where he wasn't attacking everybody.
It's a good question.
And if you've been doing it for years and you know that you have the capability to keep some of yourself in there, like when your friends were around you, you were able to keep some of yourself there. You've been doing this for a number of years.
Yeah.
I feel like at some point you start doing some type of routine that helps you chill the fuck out. Granted, he's not doing a routine tonight. They're out on the ground.
Does Lupin just need to do yoga?
Maybe.
Some meditation?
Yeah.
Some chamomile tea?
Taking some shrooms.
Yeah, some shrooms maybe.
I just looked up what Lupin was up to before Hogwarts, like those prior 12 years.
Do we get a canon thing or what's the leading theory?
It's it's fact.
Okay.
It's odd jobs, moved around, never had a job more than a month because once a month he would change and inevitably have to leave the area or get a new job.
Go to small towns, work as a dishwasher.
He was just a traveler.
Leave. Interesting. He's a vagabond, as they say, maybe?
Yeah, because of the lycanthropy. Like, he couldn't be around people a lot because he was dangerous. And he did flip every moon, even if he was inside or chained up or whatever.
Yeah.
It's going to go.
But did he ever attack? I guess we don't know the answer to this. But
Yeah,
did you ever
I
attack
think-
somebody?
I think that's the implication of him not keeping a job, is that he was moving around so that didn't happen.
I would like to know this, before
Hiring the guy?
someone becomes a teacher in a school full of students, in a boarding school situation. It's not the students leave at 3:30.
It's nothing against his character, but it is something that has to be talked about to consider the safety of the students for. We're already not doing parent signatures for Quidditch, all right? But I think maybe werewolf teacher, good person as he may be, may not be the one.
Like maybe he just needs the back half of a fucking pig and to journal with his little claw in some dirt for a couple hours, and then he'll be chill.
Yeah. Well, they said, with the potion, he just sleeps it off.
That's what, but
so
literally bag of dog treats and a bone, and that fucker, you will not hear a peep out of him
give
for
him
the rest of the
something to chew
night.
on, give him something to keep his brain busy. He should be fine.
Yeah, it needs a chew toy. Yeah, my opinion of Lupin has changed so drastically as an adult now. And Lupin was the best.
I always thought he was cool too,
He was the coolest. He's a werewolf. He's a young professor. Best friends with the main character's dad. Like, this dude's cool as hell. And then the movies come out, and I liked the actor that played Lupin. So Lupin got even cooler.
Yeah.
And now, as a 32-year-old man, I don't care for Lupin. I think he is very irresponsible and should not be around students.
He should not be in Gryffindor. I think that's
Yeah, this is stuff I never considered reading this as a teenager. Lupin was just cool as fuck. That's really all I remember about Lupin.
That's kind of why Sirius Black became my favorite.
Yeah.
Because in the first few chapters of the first book, you know, Hagrid borrowed this motorcycle from another
Flying
dude,
motorcycle.
long-haired
Fuck
wizard
yeah.
named Sirius Black, who rides a motorcycle. And I'm like, I don't even know who he is. That's my dude.
Coolest dude ever.
And here we are, book 3, and it's kind of all about him. So I just lucked out. But in the same way, I do not share the same love for Sirius Black now that I did when I first read the books,
You know what's wild?
even though I think he's arguably better.
Sirius was in one spot for the last 12 years. We all knew where the fuck he was.
Mm-hmm.
Lupin knew where the fuck he was. No time did he go, you know what? I'm going to take a trip over to Azkaban because that's fucked. Like that thing, what happened?
Oh, yeah.
That was wild.
Yeah,
wild
that's
that
true.
Sirius flipped on not only James and Lily, but also killed Peter and a group of people. Like, I would never imagine my best friend to do that. I need to go look at him and at least be like, what the fuck, man?
Yeah.
Nope. Not even a thought about it. Didn't even shows up 12 years later and you're like, oh, hey, sorry.
Now, there's always a chance that maybe that did happen, but we're not told. And it feels like that's something that would have came up maybe last chapter
Yeah.
when Sirius and Lupin are kind of reconciling. Like, I'm sorry I came to Azkaban and said all those things to you, Sirius. After the deed. And he's like, nope, friend, I understand. I was made to look bad and I looked bad.
It's like, no. I talk so much shit to you.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
I am very curious to hear from all of you people.
God damn it.
You people at home. I would love to hear if you guys remember reading this for the first time, or if your first time reading this was when you were older, what you thought of Lupin. And of course, you can always send us your thoughts and feelings to podcastatt@gmail.com.
Yeah, Aaron will not be answering the emails. We promise he's not really mad at you. We're not sure why he says it that way, but we will read and respond.
What, you mean when I say you people?
Yeah,
What?
freak-
That's
it,
loving.
It kind of freaks people out when you talk that way, Aaron.
I haven't heard it.
On the podcast, it's funny, but when you do it in real life, that's when people are like, that's
when I do
weird.
it to you in your face.
Very intimidating.
Hey, podcast stuff on the podcast. We'll talk about that later.
Okay.
You better not bring it up later.
Wow.
No, there is more
Wow.
chaos to be had, okay? Lupin is transformed. Sirius transforms as well and tries to drive Where Lupin away from the kids. And Peter Pettigrew finds himself a window of opportunity. Harry sees all this chaos happening, and he sees Pettigrew dive for Lupin's wand. And he does yell and hit Pettigrew with an Expelliarmus spell. So Pettigrew is wandless. And then he transforms and escapes into the Forbidden Forest. Harry sends Sirius after him because he has drove Lupin off. Sirius runs off after Peter, and then we hear a whimper. Harry gives chase, and we run into at least 100 Dementors.
Fuck.
Surrounding Sirius Black and surrounding this whole area that Harry and Black have found themselves in. And Hermione. Hermione's also there too.
Fuck. It's so bad. I
Yeah.
mean, look, that's when total. Okay. First things first. Pettigrew turns into a rat and fucking disappears.
Yep.
Talk about holy shit, worst case scenario.
Yeah.
But we called this because what's too small to put on a rat? Fucking handcuffs.
Yeah.
Anyway, second thing, Sirius Black runs into the Dementors. I thought he had like a superpower kind of against him because he's an innocent guy. And he's in dog form, so they weren't supposed to be able to bug him, but they got him, and that's confusing, but also very sad.
It could be that Sirius took off into the woods in dog form and then in his frustration transformed back into a man and then yelled at Peter Pettigrew saying, like, come out, you coward.
And that's when the Dementors came in
Maybe.
and fucking
Now,
swooped and did their thing.
I'm sure they were also coming into the area anyway because, a werewolf just happened. So I'm sure this has been a very loud scene. just outside the
Yeah.
Hogwarts castle, where apparently no one else hears any of this going
Gotta
on.
imagine there's a lot of extreme emotion going around and a werewolf change. So
Yeah.
I imagine those Dementors would come
Right.
calling.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
assumed there was so many of them
Yeah.
that, and like
Oh,
he's been
yeah.
away.
Oh, yeah.
He's been
Yeah.
away from them for a minute. So yeah, he was like immune to them, but now he's been away. He's had some happier moments now.
Yeah, Harry just said he
One.
wanted to move in with
Right.
him. Sirius has the happiest memory he's had in 12 years.
Yeah.
Dementors could feel
And
that.
now they're going to take it away.
Oh, yeah.
One is not fucking funny. A dozen is a serious affair.
Yeah.
100? Fuck that. Like, everybody is almost instantly too sad to do anything, right?
Yeah.
They're
Well,
here, it's just you've lost. The second you see them, you've
and
lost.
That's pretty much what happens. Harry starts trying to Expectro Patronum his way to Sirius.
So sad.
But he can't, and he is also yelling at Hermione to do it, and Hermione's having no success with this. Is this fallout from Hermione being overworked and having too many classes? I don't see where Hermione finds out that Harry is learning this advanced spell and doesn't make him teach her.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Hermione is aware of the happy thought thing.
That's what I mean. How
Right.
does she not demand that from Harry, though?
Yeah,
Teach me how to cast a Patronus.
I think what happened here is that there are 100 Dementors, and by the time
very true.
Harry even says, "Look, it's Expecto Patronum." You point
Yeah.
it, you think a happy thought, and you got to fucking Hermione. Look at me now.
Yeah.
You have to believe, girl. Okay, and we can get this done. And then she doesn't know that, so it doesn't go well. And then when it doesn't go well, you lose hope. And then Harry starts to lose hope. And
Yeah.
then it just goes down the drain. That's it. I mean, it just didn't go well.
My question, though, is 3 months ago, how did Hermione not go, Harry, how do you do that Patronus thing that Lupin's
Well,
been teaching you?
I think maybe that class was, that was just for Harry.
It
you
was,
know?
but
I mean,
Hermione's a know-it-all.
as Harry,
Yeah.
right? Everything we know about Harry, you're fucking telling your friends.
That's the other thing.
I just described how to do Expecto Patronum in under 10 seconds.
Yeah, it was real quick.
So like this is easy information to impart
Yeah.
to your friends.
I would think so.
Look, I agree with you. I'm not trying to bump back. He should have absolutely been telling everybody this.
I mean, I do think that they were fighting, and Hermione was doing her own shit. She was tired
Oh,
Yeah.
all
that's the
fucking
thing.
year.
That's, I mean, if she didn't have her extra classes, I'm assuming she probably also learned how to cast a Patronus, with Harry, like, saying it to her. But then again, 100 Dementors, probably not actually going to help right now.
The thing you really need to make that specific spell go isn't just knowledge, it's a feeling. And
Yeah.
if you can't get that feeling, baby, it's not going to happen.
When 100 Dementors are surrounding you, it doesn't go well. When you have one Dementor very close to you because your last attempt at a Patronus failed, and it pulls back its cloak and you see its face, Patronuses aren't going to help you much anymore.
Yeah, it's too late. You're already too fucking scared.
At least not a Patronus that you've cast. However,
It's when you start beating that thing with your wand.
yeah,
Just going full fucking Christmas story
Yeah.
on him.
he did to the troll.
Yeah.
He shoved
Yeah.
his wand up the troll's nose. Why can't we do that now?
I mean, it's worth a
That's
shot.
what I'm
It's got a
saying.
weird fucking sucking mouth hole.
Yeah. Well, and
That
now,
was weird when I.
hey, I think with Dementors, mouth hole instead of just mouth might be more accurate.
That's kind of how they're described. It's
'Cause
not good.
We do get a quick description, like where their eyes should be is just scabbed skin. That's not great.
Gross.
And, so Harry's terrified. But off in the distance, he sees some shimmering light start charging around the lake and driving all of these Dementors away. And as he fights his last moments of consciousness, he thinks he recognizes the wizard that cast the spell, but it couldn't be the wizard he thinks cast that spell. Or could it? We don't know.
Who's the wizard that cast the spell, Aaron?
He passes the fuck out.
Oh no!
And that's the end of the chapter.
Oh shit!
we can only hear what Harry's thoughts are when Harry wants us to hear what Harry's thoughts are before he passes out.
Yeah. So that's it. You're done.
He
You got to
did-
wait another week now.
But
Cliffhanger after cliffhanger with these chapters.
Lupin said he wasn't going to pass out again, and he was all good, and then...
This is why you should always keep a bar of chocolate on you at all times.
Always.
All times.
Mine's... No, well, it's gross now. I can figure it out later. It's fine. It's fine.
Hey, I know we left on a big cliffhanger, and I know this was a very short chapter.
Yeah, it
like in the
was.
book, it was like 6 pages. It's only like 12 minutes.
12 whole minutes.
in the audio book. But did we have any final thoughts? I know we talked a lot about Lupin and the Dementors, but
I love the idea that the bad guy was not the bad guy actually. And a couple of times over in this story, that seems to be the case. Like, it really is a story about redemption and coming back to, look, some people, they look good and they're not actually good. And other people look really bad, but they're not actually that bad. It's really, you got to get to know people. Like, you can't just assume off what you've heard, or even sometimes, according to this book, what you've seen.
yeah.
The story could always be a little bit deeper and a little bit different than maybe you expect. And I think that's really cool. And a lot of that short chapter as it was kind of came to light.
Yeah, I mean, hey, why do long chapter when short chapter work?
Yeah, make the point. Short and sweet.
I will say, I mean, other than the slew of spells we could have done
Yes.
to prevent Pettigrew getting away,
Mm-hmm.
I also think that we could have alternatively just snapped a leg
Oh, yeah.
prior to him we have magic. It'll get better in a day.
Pomfrey will fix it up in an hour.
We just need to make sure this fucker, because they know he's a rat.
Yeah.
Right?
Curbstomp his tibia.
Yeah. Let's just make it so that he can't, even if he transforms, he's going to be dragging this little fucker around. He ain't moving that fucking fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He doesn't need anything below the waist.
No.
That Pomfrey can't fix later.
Yeah. Literally just crush his pelvis.
Yeah. His Achilles, cut it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cut
He'll
his
be fine.
Achilles. Yeah.
I love the idea of somebody whose terminology includes curb stomping. Is it also using the appropriate medical jargon for the parts? What curb stomp is tibia, yo? What the fuck is happening?
Doc, what's the problem? Well, you got some bad bruising, and I think the only thing we can do is curb stomp your tibia in two and then repair it manually. Well, look, I feel like if I keep talking, we're going to go down a bad medical road. And I just think that's just about everything that we could possibly say on these topics.
Oh, okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Did you have more thoughts, JD?
No, but I don't like being told that's all we could say. We could be done with the episode. I'm going to have words for him after this.
Hey, that's what the side quests are for.
Yeah, that's
you
right.
get to say as much as you want.
Goddamn
Wait,
right.
this next side
Goddamn
quest is
Wes.
just Jade yelling at me for
It
30
could very
minutes.
well be.
Right? Yeah, it will be.
Yeah. Hey, if they wanted to, find out more information about that kind of stuff, do you maybe have like a spiel you could do to tell them all about it?
Absolutely. If you guys wanted to let us know what you thought about this chapter or this episode, you could write a scroll and send it by owl to podcastatt@gmail.com or follow us on any of our social medias to get the latest. What happened? Aaron tried the thing and it didn't.
I don't know.
Are we going to have a fight? What's going on?
I don't know.
Jade's going to kamehameha? What are
Instead
you
of
doing?
dueling banjos, we're dueling writing sounds.
Dueling writing?
With anything but pen and paper.
Well, if you guys really enjoyed this episode, you can go to patreon.com/podcastatt and sign up for a tier of whatever level. It doesn't matter to us, but we'd still be happy to have you there. We've got live episodes, side quests, watch-alongs, game nights coming soon, and it's a lot of fucking fun. We have also got access to Discord, our own private Patreon Discord that we've been having a lot of fucking fun on. So if any of that sounds good to you, you should go to Patreon. Otherwise, like and subscribe to this feed to get more episodes and make your judgment call later. But thank you all very, very much for listening, and we will see you real soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Last episode, you stole his bullshit from the end, and now you're taking all my stuff. I don't know what's happening, but I feel a coup happening here, and I don't like it. First, we let him start hosting. Now he's stealing our catchphrases, and I think I'm going to have to stab him.
Expelliarmus. And there is...
Hold on. Where Lupin is very clever.
Oh, thank you.
Because it's still...
Werewolf.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's in the notes. Where
Yeah.
Lupin?
Yeah, but did you do know why it's like, did you think about the fact that it was werewolf still
Yeah.
when you wrote it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I'm smart.
Okay. Good for you. Good job.
Hey, this... Not real world applicable, so I'm smart in it.
I'm just
If it
saying.
has no bearing on my actual life, I know about it.
I saw Dogfather happen.
Dogfather
so I feel
was an
like
accident.
if I didn't see that happen, then maybe you'd be like, yeah, I do.
Yeah, Dogfather was an accident earlier, so I understand where you're coming from.